We'll get a good show. David Letterman is with us tonight. I want to point out something. When we come back from the commercial, if Letterman is sitting at the desk and says I've stepped down for health reasons, don't believe him. I like David Letterman. I told David, I said he'd have gotten the job if he'd have just scored higher in the swimsuit competition. David Letterman is a good friend of mine. As you well know, he has had his own highly successful show on NBC for a decade. Would you welcome Mr. David Letterman? Isn't that nice?
I've never been so damn popular.
Isn't that nice?
Thank you. Let me just check something. The line was just a potty sitting minute, Sheila. Was
You
it?
got it.
You can't beat wacky props.
You
can
can't. No. We go with the good stuff.
And by the way, I appreciate the shot in the monologue. That did a world for my morale. You know, boom. Well, I just pack up and get in the car now.
I picked up that gentle humor from watching you.
You've been.
He that giveth must also taketh.
You've been saving that joke since the coup.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. Yes, on the off chance you might show up here.
Now, let me, before we continue, we'll get to your questions in a second.
Sure, no problem.
By the way,
And I have some.
can I have a word with the band?
Certainly.
Excuse me, guys?
Yeah.
The gravy train is being discontinued.
They actually will have to get...
No, there's one for the band now.
They'll actually have to go out and make a decent
Actual
living.
gigs.
That's right.
Anyway, I came over here early. I'm terribly nervous about the appearance, and I say to myself, Dave... Oh, hi, Ed. Nice to see you. I say to myself, Dave, let's go get us a beverage. So I go to this place down the street there, down Alameda, and it's one of these places sells a lot of muffins. In fact, it sells mostly muffins, but no, that's not the name of the place. And I go in there, and I see that they have coffee as well.
Right.
I think, good, I'll go in and get myself a hot steaming cup of joe. Now, behind the coffee machine, there's a sign up in the wall, and it says, helium balloons, 75 cents. I see an opportunity for comedy. So I wait in line, and the guy behind the counter says, can I help you, sir? And I said, yes, I would like a cup of coffee. And he says, okay, you want anything in that? I said, yes, I'd like some helium. He looks at me, he looks back at the sign, and he says, that's only for balloons. Actual story.
There's an old adage. Never joke with the tradespeople. Rule number one in comedy: never joke with the tradespeople.
Oh man.
Well, why don't I just start off with a question here? Just how pissed off are you? I've never asked that question in many years here.
Johnny, let me give you a little piece of advice. You keep using language like that, and you're going to find yourself out of a job.
Oh, a lot of people, we've known each other for over 10 years.
Long time.
When you first came on this show. And I remember the very first joke I remember you doing on the show. Mm-hmm. And it had to do with brushing your teeth when the toothpaste congeals in the sink. right?
yes.
And makes those little hard things, and you said
Yeah.
you chip them out and serve them for dessert mints,
That's
right?
Yeah.
Just to show you I can still remember what you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, with all that's been going on, and all the stuff that's been in the papers, and in conjecture and theory by the critics and the people, because as you know, a friend of yours is taking over here next May, and you...
Well, I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said... And there were all these things in the
Like
paper.
a waitress, Ed. I'm a little nervous.
There were rumors in the paper you were going to firebomb NBC. You were going to do all these.
Well, I hate waiting in lines, but I'd do it.
No, don't get Shaughnessy started. No, don't start with Shaughnessy and the rim shots. We'll never get through anything here. So, do you want to address this question?
Oh, yeah.
Anything to address?
No. I'm not angry. I'm not angry at NBC about this.
Right.
Not angry at Jay Leno about this. Not angry at you or the Tonight Show about this. I mean, realistically, if it were not for you, I wouldn't have a show, and I wouldn't have socks actually if it weren't for you. And now, if the network had come to me and they said, Dave, we'd like you to have this show, and then a week later they said, Dave, we don't want you to have the show, then you could be angry about that. But I have a show.
Yes, you do.
And NBC can do whatever they want with this show. So I was never angry. Now, would I like to have the show? Oh, sure. Yeah.
That's honest.
I'd like to be looking at new upholstery now, and from what I know of you, a guy can make a pretty comfortable living doing this show. So, yeah.
If you play your cards right and don't give it all away, you can. Can you envision yourself? We're going to finish it almost 30 years in May. Can you envision yourself 20 years from now doing your late night show? I'll put it down as a. I'll put that down as a hardly no, right?
I don't know how you've done it. I don't. 10 years to me seems like. Some nights it seems like it's been 10 years. No, I don't think we got much beyond. 10 years seems just about right sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But the question to ask maybe. What is that? Are they upset about something?
Well, they said 10 years, maybe you said maybe long enough. They don't want you to quit.
Part of the problem is the answer is incomplete because I wasn't paying close attention to the question. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I may have misanswered that
No, it
question.
didn't make any difference. I forgot what I asked. We have to do this, Peter.
All right, so we can finish up with this when we come back.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, great, sure.
Stay where you are, folks. We're coming back. With Dave Letterman.
Did we finish that up? Did we cover that completely?
I think we covered that pretty good.
Yeah.
You've been kind of tough on General Electric. Like we've been doing a lot of jokes about General Electric, which is the owner of NBC. It used to be RCA, but
right. Biggest, maybe the biggest corporation in the world. Bigger, maybe as big or bigger than General Motors. I'm not sure. Hugely successful global corporation.
That's right.
They study this in business schools. It's one of the most successful, high-powered, all-seeing, knowing, breathing corporations on the planet. I'm watching my good friend Ted Koppel. I've never met Ted, come to think of it. It's one of those Sunday morning shows where they have a little more time. They can analyze the news and give you different perspectives about what's going on in the world. The global scene is always changing right now, isn't it?
As we sit here.
Exactly. And a lot of corporations like General Electric take this opportunity to advertise on these shows, and it's different commercials from what you would see other parts of the programming day, because they're selling the corporate image. They're reinforcing the idea that everything is good and right and fine in corporate America. So I've been watching this one particular spot for General Electric for 3 years. It's about the discovery of something called Lexan, the hardest substance known to man. It's bulletproof plastic. Here we go. It's a General Electric laboratory, and it's very busy. A lot of experiments, a lot of equipment, a lot of things going on. Camera moving slowly through the laboratory to reinforce the notion of, even as we sleep, they're trying to make our lives better. Suddenly, on one of these lab tables, you see a kitty walking across the table. Lovely, sweet, cute little kitty. Kitty accidentally knocks over a jar, the contents of which spill onto the floor. Kitty knocks over another jar. Those contents spill onto the floor as well. And the next thing you know, oh my God, it's Lexan. The announcer says, we at General Electric know that it takes more than hard work and long hours. We know it also takes a little luck. Now, you see the lab technician there in the next morning, and he's looking at it, and it's a lot of this, a lot of these shots. Now, what kind of confidence, inspiration message is this? GE has got a lab someplace built on a toxic dump site. Every night, some radioactive sewer cat gnaws its way through the roof, running around the lab, hissing and spitting, chasing chemically altered rats, knocking over beakers, contaminating experiments. This is how GE brings good things to life. Every morning, they start off every day with a cleanup crew. They get the janitors in there. Hey, look at here, Ed. That damn cat was in here again last night. Yep, the cancer serum's got fleas in it.
What do we call this? New project.
It's bulletproof. Cat helped us out on that one.
Oh, God, that's funny. It's true, though. I've seen that commercial.
Yeah.
Lots of those shots. Have you been following what the goings on in the Soviet Union?
Well, how can you not? Man, I'm telling you one thing, I got confused. I wake up one morning, and it's CBS, and I'm watching the coverage of the coup, and I see, this is right after they found Gorbachev. And you know how you wake up in the morning, you're a little fuzzy. Well, for you, Ed, maybe it's all day. I'm sorry. I know you don't drink.
Oddly enough, you look good to me tonight.
You got to get a shot in once in a while.
It's the last time I'm here. I got to do what I can.
That's right.
And so I'm like that, and I'm watching there, and I see Gorbachev, and he's been released. And I thought, oh, well, this will be interesting. Let's see what's going on. And he's talking, and I'm watching, and by God, I understand what he's saying. And I think for a second, I can speak Russian. And then, of course, I realized I was listening to the translation. But boy, for a second, it
just for a moment.
Yeah, just, so then... So then Dan Rather comes on, and he's talking about the coup plotters who are now leaving Russia, or leaving Moscow. They're getting out of it. He says, they're fleeing, they're running, they're fleeing for their lives. They're trying to get away as quickly as they can. They're Thelma and Louise, if you will. I said, really, Dan? I'm sorry, Thelma and Louise?
He actually did that?
Yeah, like Gorbachev and Yeltsin are Bill and Ted on a bogus journey. Bush is the Terminator 2. What's going on, Dan? I'm Siskel, you're Ebert. I'm done now, John.
You see, that's the blending between reality and what's going on.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
it's very confusing.
Everything is lapped over.
It's crazy. It's the media. Don't get me started on the media.
No, we don't want to. I'm so glad you're out here, really. Because,
thank you very much.
You said this may be the last time you're going to be with us because you've got your own schedule.
Well, and I've used up my frequent flyer miles.
I hope we see you again before you.
I
we
do
pack it in.
Thank you very much.
You're going to stay here, aren't you?
If I can.
Oh, yes,
no,
yes,
being
sir.
ushered off. Thanks.
No,
being bounced off the show now.
No, not at all. We're going to be back with B.B. King and a fantastic juggler for you. Stay where you are. Okay, just time to thank everybody. BB, good to see you again. Thanks for coming. And David, I can't thank you enough for being here. Come back again. You got to come back before we wrap it up again.
Do what, sir?
I don't know what I said. I wasn't. Good night. I guess that's it, right? You are going to come back before.
Yes,
Sure, okay.
I'd love to come back.
All right. Good night. Thank you.
Coming up next, NBC Sports presents the World Track and Field Championships from Tokyo, Japan.